What's going on, YouTube? This is Ben from Dual Tonics, and I'm here to give you a card discussion for today. The main topic for today is draw cards. We're not gonna go into archetype specific draw cards, but like things like Thanos Dragon, or its actual name Phantastical Dragon Phantasme, or Pot of Extravagance, Pot of Desires, just the pot cards. And then I'll discuss some side cards like Shared Ride, Reckless Greed, the things that aren't really used that often, but still make a major impact on the meta at times. Now, we're going to start off what I personally think is the best draw card would be the Thanos Dragon. It's in the meta where we have Salamangreats, we have Sky Strikers, we have the decks that make Azathoth, the Orcus, everything. We no longer play a game where we can live without making links. Yeah, there are a few exceptions. I'll give it to the Guru Control, and sometimes Altergeist can get away with making a link monster. But when it comes down to it, the ability to cycle through your deck, 2 cards, and then you can put one of your cards you have to search back, that's very powerful. And comparatively, in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's the plus ones are so rare, and like Upstart Goblin, it's a +1, but it's limited to 1. You have Engage. We're all talking about banning it, but that's all it is it's a search 1. We're not going to count the second effect. It's a +1. You got Terraforming. You have all these cards that all they do is they just give you that you trade 1 card in your hand for 1 card in your deck. Sometimes you get to choose, sometimes you don't. And a lot of those cards are on the chopping block because Yu-Gi-Oh is so fast. All it takes is that 1 extra card, and you're winning the duel. In card games like Magic, like the +1, doesn't really matter. They'll give it to everything. But that's what I'd like to talk about. The major +2s or more. Phantasme, though you have to shuffle a card back, it's a +2. They control 1 link monster. You can special summon this card from your hand, and you can draw 1 plus the link monster they control. If they control 1, that's 2 cards, you gotta put 1 back. Ability to dig through 2 increases your consistency like crazy. And the other draw 2 cards, Pot of Desires and Pot of Extravagance, they have a crazy drawback. They're all good, mind you. Pot of Desires, it's a great card, but it's been debated on YouTube for ever since it came out. And I think it was whenever the Dark Magician set came out. Ever since that set, Pot of Desires it's been played. I think it reached $100 at one point. It's a good card, but when your search cards are in the deck, the main deck, it kind of has a drawback. You can't search if it doesn't exist. And since there's no cards right now, well, they are, but they are just, we have the 1 Omega, we'll bring face down back, and the 2 Necroface. That's it. Well, there's the one trap for the paleos. They can put it back in the graveyard. But other than that, Pot of Desires is the +2 that you can just play willy-nilly. But you have to search in your deck before, because it normally ruins the consistency of your deck. Moving on to Pot of Extravagance. It's an excellent card. It's one of the first cards for decks like Guru Control or Altergeist, and there hasn't been really a third deck that's really utilized this card. But it is a free +2 without ruining the consistency of your deck. Like Desires ruins it. Pot of Extravagance, yeah, you're hitting the extra deck, but if your deck doesn't rely on it, then it's optimally better than Desires. Big issue is where both of the pod cards are situational what your deck plays. Phantasme is situational to what everyone else is playing. And I like to just comment in the comment section below what you think is the better draw card, what you would rather play. And that's all what this video is about. It's just here to open a discussion and see what you guys think are the best draw cards. Now, moving on to kind of the slower draw cards, we have Reckless Greed and Shared Ride. Both excellent draw cards. Shared Ride against Sky Strikers, against Trickstar, against those search decks, excellent. You're netting 2, 3, 4 cards to your hand if they do their full combo. It's just, I don't see it being good in the future. With the release of the next few sets, it's no longer going to be search my deck, set, pass. There's going to be a lot of decks that are field spammy, like Guard Dragons or the Salmon Greats, Neos. They're eventually going to get a play. All these decks are going to be able to avoid things like Droll, things like not really, so to speak, Ash. Ash doesn't hurt him as much, and that's when Shared Ride isn't as well. It isn't as good of a card as the other draw cards. Now, in the future, yeah, that'd be great. It's always there for those when the meta is search decks. But aside from that, it'll just see side deck play for now. And the last card on my discussion, be cards, or I guess just like the trap draws. We got Reckless Greed. I think we have a Pot of Avar's trap. It's just a trap version of the spell. And there's a few more that are progressively worse. But having draw effects and traps is the major focus of this. And what I think makes a draw spell good is not how many you draw. Well, that does affect it, but the ability to do it immediately. To start your combos and to make them well off. That's what you want your draw power. You want to play like blue in Magic the Gathering. And have it in a trap. I've been playtesting for a good while, and I've been playing the meta for a good while. And unless you're playing a trap-based deck, trap-based draw effects have a huge drawback, no pun intended. And just comment in the comment section below what you personally think is the best draw card and what you would consider putting into your deck or in the future. And have a good one.